Welcome to the SwitchClicksPodcast, episode 24, recorded on January 10th, 2021. Today we'll be discussing the worst fake leak we've ever seen. My name is Dakota, and today I'm joined by Nathan.
Hello, Happy New Year's.
It's been quite the 10 days.
Indeed.
Leave it at that. So, I think a few days ago, what's the date on here? January 5th. On January 5th, on my Twitter timeline, there's always random crap. But this one just caught my eye. I'm not sure who retweeted it to put it on my timeline. It was basically just a photo of a alleged leak from Nintendo, but it's just a piece of paper with a list of games on it and other stuff. We're just going to go through that and basically laugh at it because it's so garbage.
It's so obvious that it's so fake. You have to see this for yourself.
I'll have it on the screen for our viewers, but for our listeners, we're just going to go through it now. It has the Nintendo logo at the top, says internal use only, kind of just what you need in a paper leak. And then it says that there's going to be a Nintendo Direct on the 11th of January 2021. And obviously,
Just day after this recording.
Yeah, there's been no announcement, but hey, you never know. Maybe all of our dreams will come true at this point. Then the first thing it says is hardware. So apparently they're going to announce some hardware. And the only thing on the list is Nintendo Switch Pro.
That name in and out of itself already confirms that it's fake. They use that name, Sony's going to sue the heck out of them.
But what else would they name it? The Plus Nintendo Switch?
The new Nintendo Switch.
That would be the Nintendo way.
I don't know what they were thinking, but that was a terrible name for the 3DS.
It says that it would be released
April 23rd, yeah.
April 23rd of this year. That seems really close if this would be real. And it says it has 4K TV support, which is a little bit believable. A Dock Pro, quote unquote. What would that be? What would that need? What's the point of a Dock Pro?
Dock Pro is the only thing that gives it 4K TV support.
That would mean that the screen would probably have to be like 1080p or something.
Well, I mean, no, they could just upscale it using HDMI, but they chose not to.
Yeah. And apparently a Joy-Con Pro.
Immediately fake.
What does that mean?
Well, it basically just improves Joy-Cons, but I think that would be a dick move from Nintendo.
And then other stuff like Bluetooth, high definition, more gigs,
Bluetooth.
a lot of gigs.
What the heck? Okay, there's so many things wrong with all that stuff. Bluetooth audio already works on the Switch. It's just Nintendo decided to be strict about it and force people to use apps or third-party companies to actually put it in. Second of all, Switch is already high def. Third of all, why is that a new graphics chip? I don't know what that is, but
NVIDIA DLLS 2.0.
I have no idea. It's certainly not the Tegra series. And the price already tells me enough. It's way too cheap to be something that advanced. It's priced at $399, but the catch here is that they put the dollar sign after the amount, not before.
That's true, and that's like only in Quebec.
French people in the French regions, basically.
Or you're just me, and you think that it's
you who doesn't really care about grammar and all.
Well, I think this person needs to care about grammar because their next sentence literally says first-party software without the E.
Soft war.
Soft war.
I don't know what soft war. Yeah, I can't wait for that.
And they have a list of 6 games here, and this is the most unbelievable list of games you will ever see.
Oh my gosh!
It's a Nintendo fan's wet dream. If I have to put it that way. The first one would be a Nintendo World Park Tour, which I would have to assume is like a digital version of... Oh wait, no, it's probably just a sequel to Nintendo World on the Wii U.
Well, that's Nintendo Land, though, but I don't know. If they were to call it Nintendo World, wouldn't they want to call it Super Nintendo World just to advertise the actual theme park? That would be a stupid idea if they were releasing... Next one is Mario Kart 9.
it's a given, but Mario Kart 8 Deluxe is selling so well, it's unneeded.
Then they're still doing tournaments for that too. Yeah, there's no way they're stopping there. Yeah, because that game is still freaking huge. Still best-selling Switch game, I think.
Yes, I believe so. Their financials should be coming out at the end of the month.
Yeah,
The next one would be Splatoon 3, which I believe is way too close.
yeah, especially since they're doing Splatfest like within a week from now. And it's way too early. If they were to reveal it now, then it wouldn't be until like maybe a year, or like maybe like three-quarters of a year until they actually release it.
Yeah, I'd say they can probably release a Splatoon 3 in like 2 to 3 years from now for the
Hmm.
Nintendo Switch Pro, the next one.
Yeah, assuming something happens.
And then the next one would be a sequel to Super Mario Odyssey called Super Mario Odyssey 2.
Not only does that give me Super Mario Galaxy 2 vibes, but so early. It's only been like 4 years or 3 years ish. We've actually played that first one. Ah, and then the next one is Fire Emblem Echoes: Path of Radiance. It's an older Fire Emblem game, isn't it?
Yeah, I just googled it now, and it looks like it would just be a remake in the same vein that the other 3DS Fire Emblem Echoes was.
Kidding me? What's the point of like? Okay, I guess yeah, they want that, but shouldn't they be releasing the older game, like the NES games first, like they're doing right now?
Well, I think Path of Radiant, it looks like it. I'm not an expert on Fire Emblem at all, but
Me neither.
it looks like it might have been like the first time we saw Ike because he's on the box art. So I'm gonna
That's
assume.
true.
So that's
But
why people are like, "Oh, he's super important. Let's make a remake out of him."
and the final thing on this list for the first party software is Metroid Resurgence.
It's a really cool name.
But who's making it?
Yeah, true. It doesn't even say.
Like, is it like Bandai Namco who was supposed to make Metroid Prime 4? Is it supposed to be one of those smaller studios that stuff on the 3DS? I don't know. I guess those rumors about the Metroid games is probably the reason why there's a fake game on this list right now.
Metroid, I think, is still pretty far away, only because they restarted development last year or 2 years ago,
Yeah,
2019.
that's Metroid Prime
Uh,
4.
I think it's definitely 2023 to 2025. We're gonna see it.
I'm definitely thinking it's like the last Switch game. Maybe it'd be kind of like another Breath of the Wild situation.
Oh yikes! It would be it was revealed the day that the year the Switch came out. It'll release.
Right at the end, right when the next console.
Luckily, Reggie said that before he retired, he said that the Switch wants to be a brand um, after 2025, I think, through 2025. So that means we're probably going to upgrade soon.
It probably might follow like the 3DS type of thing where they just kind of.
And I do have a clip here from the guy that I found it from. On his Twitter post says that his favorite thing about this fake leak of how it says the first party software, which is pretty funny. And his @ is @on the down low though. So this is a clip that he recorded after it went kind of viral.
What's so funny about this is, like, first of all, they're always like the most perfect thing ever. Like, there's never something in there that's like, like, you don't watch the direct. There's always the thing that you're like, okay, well, like, these are all like, this is like the perfect god tier plan. Second of all, this idea that Nintendo prints out to these people a paper that has every single thing. Nah, bro, what are you talking about? Third of all, at least don't make a spelling error.
That explains everything about this list. They would never overwhelm fans. Actually, well, they kind of did, but that was only like a one-time thing.
I am kind of imagining this. It would be like, holy crap, what a legendary direct this would be.
This would be like E3 level of a direct, though. This would never make it into any other direct.
I feel like Nintendo really likes stretching their hype. They release one big thing every direct, and we haven't had a direct in a full year, so
The last overwhelming direct, I think, that's when they actually put out, so much stuff all at once, but they were never going to do something like this in a long time.
So we'll go to the second part of this paper, which is the third-party software. This is probably the most unbelievable part, um, only because it really hinges on the fact that we're getting a Nintendo Switch Pro.
Yeah, it really banks on the whole hardware side of things. First off, we have Kingdom Hearts Destiny's Embrace. I think it's already been established now that Kingdom Hearts is not something you'd find on the Switch. It'd be something you'd always rely on Sony for.
Well, we did actually recently get Kingdom Hearts Melody of Memory on the Switch.
But that is a spin-off, though, which, it's kind of like in the same situation as Persona 5. Just kind of throwing in all these spin-offs, but not actually putting in the main games. Maybe they'll go back, but maybe Kingdom Hearts will come back to Nintendo consoles. There is a small number of them, I believe. I'm not sure how many they have, but I'm doubtful.
The next one would be Bayonetta 3, which is, honestly, if you have Bayonetta 3 on any of these lists, it's fake.
It's just like Metroid Prime 4.
Exactly. The director or the producer, and I'm not sure which, keeps giving us updates because they do interviews with him pretty often.
It's going well. Development is going well.
Don't worry, we're not
every year. Every year, it's going well.
We know it's been 4 years, but please.
It's been going well for 4 years. How much more can you say the same thing?
Honestly, because of pandemic, we probably just delayed all of the games that we want another 2 years. I'm too surprised.
Fast forward 2 years later, it's going well.
The third one on the list here is Shin Megami Tensei 5. I'm not the person to talk about this, to be honest. Lex, if he was here, he would talk about it a lot, but
I guess you'd say it's the only realistic thing on this list, really, because it is made for the Switch and it has been development for some kind of some form, like some time, I guess. It's definitely coming out sooner than anything else here.
They did announce that the release date was 2021, and that's still the fact here on this list, which is just probably one of those clean ones to put in so you don't get exposed.
Just to back up their points.
And then they go off on a tangent pretty much here with different developers with different games in it. They start off with Ubisoft with Assassin's Creed Valhalla, and it's not spelled Assassin's right. They missed like a couple S's.
Yeah, they missed another S.
And Assassin's Creed Valhalla on the Switch would be kind of cool because Ubisoft has been experimenting with cloud.
What was that game called again? Was it who made Control?
I think that was a different developer, not Ubisoft.
A different developer, no. Ubisoft's been doing Assassin's Creed in Japan, but I think Control has been like international.
Yeah, that's from Remedy Entertainment.
Among the other Ubisoft games, there is Watch Dogs Legion and Far Cry 6. Also exclusive to the Switch Pro or a cloud version on the base Switch.
Which, if these games would be released on those consoles, that is understandable.
I would think, though, the Switch Pro in and out of itself is already impossible. Just to look at it, it's already impossible, even if Nintendo tried their best to increase the hardware or decrease the price.
That's probably the most legit thing on this paper, only because it's kind of understandable for the base Switch not to run any of these games. Because if you look at Assassin's Creed Valhalla on the new next-gen consoles, I guess current gen, they look insanely good. The other games would be Capcom, and these are Resident 2 Remake, Resident Evil 3 Remake, Devil May Cry 5. I've never played any of those games, so I have no care for them.
Skip.
I think the last three are definitely probably the most important. They're showing Grand Theft Auto 5 Premium Edition, which is apparently going to be the one that would go to the next-gen consoles, and it's also going to run on the Switch.
What? Like the best they could okay, I guess you could say it's realistic enough to make it onto the Switch, but they're never going to bring in the next-gen version.
I think definitely the Xbox 360 version could come.
It could be another one of those Skyrim situations where they take like the PS4 or Xbox One version and kind of water it down.
I think for the best Grand Theft Auto experience on the Switch, they should do another one of the Chinatown Wars.
Oh,
I remember playing the crap out of the demo.
I never actually played that one.
It's really cool, and it's just like all based on the first game or the first two games.
Hmm.
So it's top down, and then you had to use the touchscreen to walk around. It was pretty cool. The second one would be Call of Duty Black Ops Cold War. This is not happening,
This is
period. It will
definitely not
never
happening.
happen.
Is Activision not entirely that good? Not as good as they used to be.
Well, first of all, it barely runs on any console.
Yeah, that's a big problem, but
It lags on a console, and it crashes on a console. How did you screw up that bad?
honestly, I guess it's just because the PS5.
True.
They prioritize too much on the PS5 and it screwed everything up. But hey, I would definitely do anything for a COD game on a Switch, but it went so far up with hardware that they're never going to go backwards.
I think it would be kind of interesting if, again, they would go back and maybe just make a whole COD game for the Switch itself.
Maybe even old COD game ports.
Yeah,
It's like what
so
Ubisoft's doing.
Like I've been, me, Karst, and Carson have been playing Cold War and Black Ops 3, and I keep telling them, would you guys buy a game that Activision would make, and it would basically the Fortnite version of zombies. It would be Call of Duty Zombies, and they update it with seasons, and
Hmm.
it would be free, and you can get battle passes, and they make more maps, and you can upgrade your character, you can get skins, you can get skin guns.
I would
and
most definitely like that game to exist.
just an entirely breathable game that they update constantly. Of course, that's not Activision style, but
Oh, they like compiling everything together.
and then charging full price when there's half the game. And then the last thing would be they just have a list of games here, and they're just kind of, oh, all of the next gen console games that you think there's going to be on, yeah, they're going to be here, which is kind of crazy. They have like the next Hollow Knight, Dirt 5, a Fallout 3 for some reason. Wait, Fallout 3 New Vegas. I don't think it's called Fallout New Vegas, right? The last thing on the list, which is probably the most crazy, but also most understandable, is the name of the sequel to Breath of the Wild. I kind of like it, but also it's kind of cringy. It would be named The Legend of Zelda: Echoes of the Past.
There's already a big problem with that name. It's kind of hinging on an older Zelda game title, A Link to the Past, which you don't want duplicate titles in your. They tried their best to stay away from that issue unless it was actually relevant. Echoes of the Past sounds a little.
And do we really need another Zelda game that has to do with time travel?
Cough, cough. Hyrule Warriors. Spoiler alert.
And people are apparently putting it on wikis everywhere because they think it's true.
Oh yeah,
What?
yeah. Wiki's definitely starting to take them down or prevent those from happening.
So yeah, this paper is definitely fake. I'm hoping people knew that while we were talking. But some of the things on here I would love to have, especially if it all came out in 2021. That would be a legendary year for Nintendo. Probably even topping 2017.
If there is one thing I'm surprised about this list, it's that they don't have much content for the anniversaries coming up. Like they don't have Pokemon anniversary, they don't have Zelda anniversary, they don't have Metroid anniversary or Fire Emblem. We're missing so many things here.
What's also kind of weird is there's like not really a mention of like accessories for the Switch Pro or like maybe like Amiibo or something.
It's just kind of like Switch Pro. That's more powerful Switch. Nothing special.
So yeah, thank you for joining us and talking about the worst fake leak we've ever seen. Shout out to GamesCage on Twitter. His @ is on the down low though. We'll have him in the description with the tweet. It is a fake tweet, just a meme post, but still. We would love it if you could follow us on Twitter and listen to future episodes on Spotify and iTunes. Join our Discord for insight on future episodes, and see you next time on the Switch Clicks podcast.